I don't want to have a relationship with my boyfriend's family. My boyfriend and I have a long history and a bumpy past, mostly because of his family. In the beginning of our relationship, my boyfriend told me after a few weeks that he loved me. It was the fastest moving relationship LVE ever had, but the most comfortable. I said I loved him too, and that was that. But a week later, he came back and said, I don't know if I really love you, I'm so confused on what I feel, etc. It hurt me pretty bad, but I was motivated to make him feel comfortable around me. The week after that, he told me he was sure he loved me, people were making him feel like he didn't, and we continued with our lives. I now think it's because his family told him that he doesn't actually love me. You'll see why the more you read. After facing that, I found out that his sister hated me. I made every effort to take her out with us so we could bond, but she was talking behind our backs to my boyfriend's best friend. His best friend eventually told me everything. She was saying that I was taking up too much of my boyfriend's time, I don't involve her enough, and she basically wanted my boyfriend to herself. I felt pretty weird about it, especially since never had a possessive relationship with my brother. 2 years later and she still talks about me to their mom. She still talks over me, ignores me, and makes me feel so small. I'm pretty sure she sees me as competition. She stated, I'm gonna make more money than you, I'm gonna have kids before you, I'm gonna graduate college before you, and I'm gonna get married before you. Her telling me these kinds of things makes me feel so weird, and again, so small. She also texted my boyfriend that she hates me about a month ago. His mom makes horrible remarks sometimes. She says how I gained a lot of weight, but I was anorexic before I met my boyfriend, and weighed 120 pounds 5 feet 6 inches when I met him. I'm now the average weight for my height, 135 pounds, and I have bigger boobs now, which I'm already not comfortable with yet. This year on my birthday, she threw me a party. I hate my birthday because of past abuse. Always want to have an easygoing, small birthday. I trauma dumped on her when she was talking about something similar, but I still gave her advice. She got mad and went inside for the night, leaving me alone outside. She ranted to my boyfriend about it and how I make everything about me. I really didn't ask to celebrate, and I was just giving advice because sometimes as humans, we could be missing such a simple thing that'll fix us. She complained that she didn't want advice from me and that I need to shut up. The same night, my boyfriend told me that he tells his mom everything, which I'm really not comfortable with. When we have an argument, she gives me advice or tells me that I need to communicate when she doesn't know the full story, and we had already resolved it by that point. I'm always walking on eggshells with her. I put my foot down and set some boundaries with my boyfriend about our privacy. I understand he needs to vent too, but I'd be more comfortable with him talking to somebody that doesn't put him down and is unbiased. I introduced him to my brother's friend group, so he's going to talk to them from now on. I'm pretty set on not being close with his family. It really bothers me that I won't have a relationship with my boyfriend's family, but it bothers me more how they make me feel so small. Thoughts? Next story 2. Is my GF cheating on me? I find it difficult to fully trust my girlfriend, considering our relationship of just over a year. Additionally, I grapple with drug-induced psychosis, leading to auditory hallucinations and delusional thoughts. The trust issues surfaced when she displayed unexpected expertise in intimate matters, despite her limited prior experience. This led to suspicions, possibly stemming from self-projection, especially as she had recently left school and doubted my honesty upon my departure. A particular concern arose when she befriended a gay individual whom she found attractive. Although she readily removed him from her contacts upon my request, I later noticed continued communication from his end. Another point of unease was her new roommate, with whom she shared a housing arrangement aimed at aiding those with mental health challenges. A message referencing the roommate as tall prompted my concern. While our communication remained frequent, her return to her residence posed difficulties, as she needed to clean the house each time due to its disorderly state. Her move to live with me followed, accompanied by a somewhat awkward dynamic with her previous roommate. More recently, during a night out at a club, a conversation involving compromising actions for drugs led to an unsettling situation where she winked at a friend of mine. Upon confronting her, she denied the gesture, which has led me to consider the possibility of gaslighting. This situation is perplexing given her history of sexual trauma, raising questions about the motivation behind any potential infidelity. It's important to note her struggles with CPTSD. Despite these concerns, she has shown unwavering support during difficult times, even waiting hours outside my workplace when I was feeling low. Her willingness to comply with my requests, including agreeing to a lie detector test, which we haven't done yet, along with her dedication to my well-being, raises doubts about the possibility of her being unfaithful. I've also had suspicions of her involvement with my brother, who resides with us. While my suspicions have led to misunderstandings and conflicts, it's important to mention that our relationship has been marked by mutual abuse, both physical and emotional. Her recent eviction from my grandparents' house due to ongoing conflicts adds to the complexity of the situation. I confronted her about a perceived incident involving my friend, accusing her without evidence, which led to her jumping out of the car while moving. I subsequently helped her clean up, but my grandparents asked her to leave. Despite these challenges, she remains deeply in love with me, demonstrating her commitment through actions such as ensuring my well-being, encouraging positive behaviors, and maintaining a strong emotional connection. She's willing to stay by my side no matter what abuse I have put her through, even offering money for a taxi to go home when we have arguments. In light of these complexities, I'm grappling with the disparity between her actions and the suspicion of infidelity. I acknowledge my challenges in articulating my thoughts, but I hope this provides a clearer understanding of my situation. Comment. So she tries as often as she can to prove her innocence, is supportive, etc. She even took a lie detector test. She waits outside for hours. She seems deeply in love and in the commitment, while you always doubt her words, actions, behavior every minor moment you see. Preface, put down the thesaurus, it only makes you less understandable. Dude, I'll lay it down to you without flair, you're unhinged and she's as unstable as you are. You're getting jealous over gay men she describes as tall, men she winks at during a bantering conversation, of your own brother. You want to put her through a lie detector. Hell, if I understand you correctly, you've been abusing each other physically and emotionally, unless you were referring to your relationship with your brother, but then again you shouldn't probably live with him then. There's there's people jumping off cars. This relationship is a complete mess, and the fact she accepts even a tenth of what you're putting her through, and possibly returning in kinds, means her self-esteem is under the floor. I don't think either of you should be in a relationship and should instead focus on finding mental stability with the help of a therapist instead. Next story 3. I want to get married before I turn 30, but my BF says he's not ready. I want to get married before I turn 30, but my BF says he's not ready. So, we've been together for about 6 months now, and even though we're in a long-distance relationship with him living in Manhattan and me in DC, things are going well. We manage to see each other every weekend, with him visiting me in DC more often than me going to NYC. We both work remote, so we spend weeks at a time with each other. It's worth mentioning that he's the first person I've ever been with whom I've truly fallen in love with all my heart, and trust me, I'm not usually the sappy type. I absolutely adore my boyfriend, and I can't deny that I'm really looking forward to marrying him. I've said I wanted to be married by 30, but he will be 27. I want to make it clear that my intentions are for us to get married both for cultural reasons and for perhaps my own insecurity. I've always believed you're single until you're married. We are exclusive and I do trust him, but I worry that he'll cheat on me or leave me, Although he's never ever gave me a valid reason to think this, please be gentle. I know it sounds crazy and I don't say this directly to him, but I do fear it in my subconscious. He's the first person I've introduced formally as my boyfriend, and that in itself is scary to me. We've had these conversations quite a bit, and each time I bring it up, he gets a bit overwhelmed and says he doesn't think he'll be ready by 27. I've even shed a few tears because it's important to me and I worry about our timeline. On another note, I've met his family here in the States, and we have exciting plans to visit his parents in Europe over Christmas and New Year's. However, I still haven't introduced him to my family. I'm honestly terrified of the possibility of us breaking up, and it turning out that I've made a mistake. He'll be meeting my parents on Thanksgiving. That's when I'll tell my family. Breaking up is not an option at all. We've both agreed on this. But how can I get him to understand how important this is to me without sounding naggy or needy?